Now, I'm going to go back and play an audio soundbite here. This is Campbell Brown introducing a story on right-wing rage last night on CNN, talking to Joe Johns, the reporter. This is crucial here to understand how it is that the Democrats and the drive-by media distort things. Dissent, when the Democrats are in power, is rage. It is derangement. It is unbalanced. We all know that the real hatred, the real rage in this country for the last 8 years, if not longer, has been the exclusive property of insane, lunatic, fringe Democrats. And as I so brilliantly asked on Wednesday of this week, where is that rage going to go? It has to go someplace. It doesn't vanish. People who live their lives enraged and angry all the time need to be enraged and angry to feed off of it. People who are pessimistic have to be pessimistic all the time. They've got to find something to be unhappy about. There are people like this, people who are happily miserable. The Democrat Party is full of them. And where in the world is that rage and hatred going to go? It may be tamed for the moment, but some of it's going to go right to Obama when he doesn't pull out of Iraq, when he doesn't close Club Gitmo, when he doesn't do some. He's going to do some things that'll satisfy him, though. I've been looking at his Change.com website. Wait till you hear the community service he has planned for every damn one of us. So-called volunteer community service. But this notion that right-wing rage is now, there is no rage. I'm not mad. I'm laughing. I've been laughing since Wednesday. What they call rage is nothing more than dissent. Now, remember, one of the ways they're going to go after talk radio is to call it hate radio. Rage, right? They just distort these things, and they call dissent or disagreement things that they are not. If you dissent from liberal prescriptions, well, you must be insane. You must be enraged. You must be hate-filled and so forth. This is the Stalinist type of mentality that they have. So here's Campbell Brown introducing this piece with Joe Johns as the correspondent on right-wing rage. Contains a clip of me from earlier in the week, and I want you to listen to this. And tell me, where is the rage?
There is a certain amount of hand-wringing, and there are those who are already comparing this to the early 90s when Bill Clinton won. As everyone remembers, Republicans regrouped, and it wasn't long before Newt Gingrich and his conservative army swept to victory in the House. And guess who's already hammering away at the Democrats? Rush Limbaugh, blasting both Rahm Emanuel and Barack Obama hours after the polls closed.
He is good old-fashioned Chicago thug, just like Obama is a good old-fashioned Chicago thug. On the night of the Clinton election, Rahm Emanuel was so angry at the president's enemies that he stood up at a celebratory dinner with colleagues from the campaign. Rahm Emanuel grabbed a steak knife, and he began rattling off a list of betrayers. And as he listed their names, he shouted, "Dead, dead, dead," and he plunged the steak knife into the table after every name. This is not a bunch of people that are going to govern from the center.
So, if you were thinking the country is now unified, think again.
So where's the rage? If there's any rage in that story, it's what you conjure up Rahm Emanuel doing, grabbing a steak knife and plunging it into the dinner table, and each time he plunges it, he shouts, "Dead," and then mentions a betrayer's name, "Dead, dead." The rage in this story is Rahm Emanuel. There is no right-wing rage in this story. I'm smiling even now talking about it, but this is how they're going to try to mischaracterize and how they've always done it, and they'll have their willing accomplices in the drive-by media to help spread the myth. Here's more from Joe Johns on Obama and me from last night on CNN.
Hours after Barack Obama was elected, Rush Limbaugh, known on his show as the man who runs America, was back on the radio breathing fire, taking Obama and his now-named chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel, to the woodshed.
He is good old-fashioned Chicago thug, just like Obama is a good old-fashioned Chicago thug.
So if you were thinking the country is somehow unified, think again. There are still deep divisions. Just because the president-elect says he's going to listen to conservatives, they say, doesn't mean he's going to govern from the middle.
You can listen all day long, do nothing about it, right? There's no unity with Obama. Now, what they left out of that was Obama said, yeah, I may not have gotten your vote. You may not have voted for me, but I'm going to listen to you. And that's why, oh, yeah, fairness doctrine, you're going to listen to us while shutting us down. And that's what good old Joe Johns did not include in his reports. There I'm breathing fire again. Hear that? Breathing fire. And Anderson Cooper could not let this go. He also spoke to Joe Johns. Says, so much for any honeymoon there for Barack Obama.
It's sort of all over the place on Obama. You heard Rush Limbaugh, that's one view, and the RNC chimed in as well. David Keene, the guy in the piece from the American Conservative Union, makes the point that, hey, Barack Obama was elected the very same way Ronald Reagan was elected in 1980. You got to give a guy a chance before you go after him, at least. And when he does something you disagree with, you go after him then. The point is, Rahm Emanuel is one of the things conservatives would go after Barack Obama about.
Yeah, but why, Joe? I mean, there's a reason for. We're not just going after the guy to go after the guy. You guys cut it under the rug. You're the guys that did not tell anybody about Obama. We know who Obama is. We know who his associates are. We know who his alliances are with and so forth. And you guys didn't. We're not trying to maybe we are. Maybe we are trying to define Obama since you guys, Joe, didn't. And now we got Brokaw and Charlie Rose. I don't know anything about him. That's the last soundbite in the list. Let's play that again. The new tune-in factor. Some of you people may not have heard this. There's a great example of drive-bys covering their rear ends now, folks, because they're way, if Obama goes way off a deep end on the left, they don't want to get any blame for it. And so we'll just listen to this. This is illustrative of the kind of thing I'm talking about here with Joe Johns. Of course we're going to try to define Obama for people so they have some idea what's coming. We live in the United States of America. It's going to be governed by a bunch of far leftists, extremists, and radicals. And not like he picked Lieberman as chief of staff, by the way. He could have reached across the aisle, found a Democrat, found a Lieberman, could have made him Secretary of Defense. I was thinking of Chuck Hagel for that, by the way. Chuck Hagel's name is on the list. Anyway, here's Tom Brokaw on Charlie Rose from 1 week ago on Charlie Rose's show on PBS.
I don't know what Barack Obama's worldview is.
No, I don't either.
know how he really sees where China is.
We don't know a lot about Barack Obama and the universe of his thinking about foreign policy.
I don't really know. And do we know anything about the people who are advising them?
It's an interesting question.
He is principally known through his autobiography and through very aspirational speeches.
I don't know what books he's read.
What do we know about the heroes of Barack Obama?
There's a lot about him we don't know.
What do we know about the heroes of Barack Obama? Well, Jeremiah, right? We know a lot about him. And so did these guys. They knew about it all along. And how about that stuff yesterday we had from the Newsweek guys? Evan Thomas and John Meekum. That stuff yesterday is pricey. You got to grab that stuff. People need to hear that again, because here's all this right-wing rage being aimed at people like me and so forth, and the drive-bys trying to act like we're trying to take Obama down before he has even been inaugurated. We're not trying to take anybody down here. We're just trying to define him for people, since you people like Joe Johns and others would refuse to do so. Here, one more bite before we go to the break. Also, Anderson Cooper, 180 last night. He spoke to former Clinton advisor David Rodham Gergen, and they had this exchange. They were talking about me.
Does Obama need to worry about what conservatives like Rush Limbaugh are saying about Rahm Emanuel right now?
Not very much. I think he's going to get a good honeymoon from Republicans, unlike the situation that faced George W. Bush, and very unlike what faced Bill Clinton. Neither man had a honeymoon. But in this case, with the first African-American going to the White House, this deep reservoir of support from the country, Republicans know it would be suicidal to start attacking him from day one on an all-fronts basis.
I don't think it'd be suicidal. But we're not attacking him on an all-fronts basis. And by the way, Mr. Gergen, if I may just make this clear, Barack Obama is my president of the United States. He's not black, he's not white, he's not Asian American, he is not Mexican, he's not Chavez's brother, he is not Islamic, he is my president of the United States. It is his ideas I am terrifically tremendously worried about. I couldn't care less where he was born. I couldn't care less what his name is. I couldn't care less how old he is. I couldn't care less about the color of his skin. I couldn't care less about his family. I don't care where he lives. I don't care where he plays basketball. I don't care about any of that. I don't see Americans the way you do, Mr. Gergen. I don't see groups of people, oh, there's the women, and there are the blacks, and there are the Hispanics, and there are the poor, and there's the home. I see Americans. I see human beings. He's a human being, and now he's president of the United States. He is attempting to consolidate the most radical left-wing policy makers and administration of my lifetime. I am going to oppose his ideas. I'm not going to wait until you people in the drive-by give your approval as to when this can happen.